No, looks
Howdy.
like it's just you and me. Oh no, it's Heather.
Oh, okay. Got some more. Hi, Heather.
Hi, good evening.
Evening. How are we all?
We're all good.
Good,
Good.
thank you. Yeah.
I'm really going to enjoy saying this one tonight. I'm looking forward to getting into the meat of it. I think it's quite important to know about as well. So yeah, let me just adjust my device.
One of my neighbours has got a dog and it doesn't, I think they put it in the garden and it doesn't stop barking.
Oh.
It's literally been barking like that now for over an hour.
Oh. We've got one down the road from us who
I'm going to have to
unfortunately
shut my window.
gets left and barks for their owner most of the day, which is not very nice.
Oh, God, I'll have to shut my window, but.
Oh, it's lovely to see everyone. Oh, fab. Hi, Claire. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Shreva. We've got the ladies tonight. Where are the chaps? Come on, where are the chaps? Hi, Justina. Doesn't matter. The chaps can always view afterwards on the recorded. You get it secondhand, you know. So, hey ho. Yeah, so tonight's talking piece, topic, whatever you want to call it, article, is all about unconditional love, universal love and unconditional love. And it's, hi Nicole, it's really important to kind of talk about these because, well, you'll see how important it is because this is one of my favorite topics. So,
You want me to show the video first?
yes, thank you for reminding me. Getting ahead of myself. This sort of sets up what I'm going to talk about. Over to you, Jane.
Rivers do not drink their own water. Trees do not eat their own fruit. The sun does not shine on itself, and flowers do not spread their fragrance for themselves. Living for others is a rule of nature. We are all born to help each other. No matter how difficult it is, life is good when you are happy, but much better when others are happy because of you.
So, I think that's very eloquent because it explains physics as well. So there's two things. There's universal love and there's unconditional love. And people don't really know what they are. It's a feeling, yeah, but you don't really kind of, it's an individual feeling per person. So me describing it is in general terms. And I'm just trying to get a picture of it in general, and I know that each person loves in their own unique way. So that's that sort of setup. Basically, universal love is the love that you have for all things in the universe, for all living things out there. It's something that you experience. So that's universal love. Now, unconditional love is the love that the universe or source has for all things, and that includes you. So that is received. So one is experienced universal love, and unconditional love is received. So there's a two-way thing going on here. So universal love is basically the feeling of love for all living things as you are feeling that in the moment. So I don't know about you, but I'll just describe what happened to me when I came into that awareness or that feeling. I was like on a train basically, and it was a summer's day, and I was on my way to London. Not a particularly nice thing to. I can't remember what I was going to, but in the kind of movement of the train, looking out at the landscape passing by, all the sunshine dappling over everything, all the blue sky and the clouds, all the various different people sitting on the train, all the life, all the birds and the things flying around, and the noises in the train track, and just the hustle and bustle of life, the kind of movement of life around me. And I was thinking, gosh, this is so wonderful. I'm in this melee of life, in this soup of life, and I'm feeling love for all things. For a biro pen that's rolling, a tin can that's rolling down the road, a person who looks at me in a kind of like suspicious way. Everything, everyone, for who they are, what they are, without judgment. It was like amazing. It was like, wow, I feel love for everything around me, all things. And I thought, wow, this is the feeling of universal love. And in that, I was not making any thoughts. I was just feeling that universal love for all things in that moment. Feeling universal love does not mean that everything in your life is perfect, by the way, as well. This is a kind of a myth. It just means that you are contented in that moment. Your projection of love into the external field, basically, because you are appreciative of the external field. You value life, you value light, you value movement, you value all these things that life provides. So universal love is basically your energy that you're projecting out, your love for the universe that you're feeling in that moment, and you're just feeling loved up, and you're like, wow, this is so amazing, because your heart is fully open, and it's just pumping out light that it's receiving, which is the universal, which is the unconditional love of the universe. So I'll get to that. So perfection, basically. So universal love is feeling love for all things, feeling it in the moment, and just being contented in that moment. It doesn't mean that your life is perfect, but it just means that you have your heart open enough to appreciate the field, the universe, the location you were in, that moment of time. So there's this thing about perfection and imperfection. Basically, life cannot be perfect for everyone, but also at the same time, it is perfect for everyone. So I'll try and explain that. So basically, if you take no action and have no active role in shaping your life, then it's going to be shaping you. It's going to be put upon you and stuff like that. If you have too high or unrealistic expectations about life and you're trying to attain that perfection, then it's a myth. It's not going to happen, because what perfection is for you is not for someone else. So, but at the same time, as well, I want to emphasize that the universal life provides the perfect things for you. So life is also perfect at the same time. You can have perfectly imperfect life, or imperfectly perfect life. So I'll try and explain that. So so basically, either you don't do anything and life shapes you, and basically it treats you, or you take control and you respond to it, and you treat life. Therefore, you have more control in it. There's two different ways of perceiving. So depending on the way that you perceive will depend on the way that life treats you. So it's really important to take active control, be aware that you can make different choices and choose different patterns and shape your life. You know, it's not a thing that's put upon you. If life is perfect for everyone, then we would all be the same. We'd all be like robots. You know, we would all have the same meal time, the same food, the same house, the same, you know, cars, everything. But we're not like that. We're all individuals, you know. And so basically, if we all wanted the same thing at the same time, we'd all be the same, and there'd be no growth or challenges or or development in us. So, but at the same time, the universe or Mother Nature does provide all of the resources that we need. It's just that we individually choose them in our own specific way. So perfection basically is very unrealistic. If you're trying to achieve perfection, it doesn't exist, and it's kind of really subjective. It's down to you, the individual, to say what is perfect for you and what's not, and that may not be for someone else. Trying to attain perfection doesn't exist, and if you're trying to do it through objects, through playing the game, the matrix, basically you're fooling yourself, because actually, if you're thinking material wealth and objects are a sign of perfection, a sign of success, a sign that you made it, you missed the bigger picture, which is basically you're playing or fooled to play in a game that's harvesting your energy and your life force, and it's fooling people with lack mentality, so that it forces them into work to then gain abundance or gain some form of resource, but at the same time it's creating deficit. Most of the energy that I'll give a perfect example. Most of the energy, if we're working for an employer, most of that energy and time and money and effort goes to the employer. It doesn't go back into our lives. It doesn't go back into looking after our families or, you know, building resources and resilience in the individual. It all gets harvested upwards. So basically, if you're playing that game of perfection and success on the career and material 3D matrix slavery ladder, you're going to end up basically being harvested. Whereas if you're playing kind of perfection, as in the universe is perfectly imperfect, and you can find your perfection within that imperfect world, that perfectly imperfect world, then that way you're coming into the abundance, because you realize that you don't have to be playing or working or be within the slavery harvesting matrix. You can choose other systems, i.e. Mother Nature. So so what happens is that most people in the Western world, they've got a trained mentality, which is lack. You know, they're always focusing on what they haven't got and what they could have. They're always kind of like trying to they complain, you know, they focus on their pain, they focus on their suffering. You know, all this is training of the mind. It's self-language as well. You're coding your cells and stuff like that negatively, because it's just as valid to be trained in seeing positives in life, to seeing opportunities, to seeing advantages, to seeing benefits and stuff like that. It's just as much training. It depends where your focus is. And most of the people in the kind of Western societies, because of this materialistic kind of way in which we kind of view success, is trying to attain all these material objects and money and stuff. We can't take any of that with us. You know, I mean, that to me is not success. That's just playing the matrix game and being harvested, thinking that you're winning. Actually, a sign of success to me is having a contented, you know, life, and actually having all the things that you need, but, you know, not really, you know, wanting extra. You know, it's a really simpler way of looking at abundance, because it's all around you. So if you're playing that game, the matrix, it's going to harvest you, and it's going to take your loose time, money and energy, and take probably 3/4 or more of your life away from you. Whereas if you play the game where you're knowing that the world is imperfectly perfect, you can start shaping the perfect reality for you. There's a difference. So basically, trying to get people out of this trained lack mentality, because they're focusing on what isn't there, with an aspect of wanting to get what they want that they haven't got. Whereas actually, if you focus on what you've already got and build upon that, then that grows the abundance. You know, you naturally acquire things. All of you are sitting in a room. You know, you've naturally acquired that room, or someone's allowed you to be in that room. You know, you've all acquired that, but you're not thinking about the lack of it per se, are you? So we've all got these wonderful things in our life that are coming through us that we've already acquired. And actually, once you start looking at that abundance, then you can see that there's more abundance that you can add to that, rather than focusing on what's being taken away from you, sort of thing. So Mother Nature basically provides all that we need. But if you kind of relied on human slavery systems, basically that's going to be all taken away from you, and it's going to be harvesting you. Whereas so universal love is basically a place that you create inside you. It comes from you, basically, and it's something that you are experiencing and that you're projecting out into the world from you. So that's universal love. Now, unconditional love, this is the other way around now. This is the universe doing what I've just described to us. Okay, so unconditional love is the love that Source has for you, that the universe or God or Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, has for you. It's non-discriminatory. Everyone can use it, Mother Nature, for free. It's not biased. Only when others covet and abuse it, then does it degrade and, you know, create a lack, because basically people are squandering it and not sustaining it. If you're of the mindset to sustain natural resources for all, then you're working as nature does. Nature basically provides everything for us. So working in the same energies as nature to help sustain it and maintain it is working with nature. It's the same energies. I'll try and explain. It's entropic. It's cohesive, coalescent force rather than radial entropic force. Acceptance. Now, basically, it's what the universe provides that's also that we're also capable of too. Acceptance for the way things are, perfectly imperfect, accepting things the way that they are and with no judgment. When you're feeling unconditional love, you're not in fear, you're not in stress, you're not in worry, you're in a suspended space, in a sort of suspended state of mind. Universal love is pushing all its resources. Unconditional love is pushing all its resources. The universe is pushing all its resources towards the center, which is you. The center of awareness, which is you. It's the only way I can explain that, and that's multiplied per living being. Okay, so if you imagine all the resources of the universe are coalescing to squeeze frequencies so much so that they turn into sound and then into light. You're a fountain of light, basically, that the universe is squeezing into being. So, and you emerge out of that field within the universe. So we're all swimming within the one universe, but then the universe individualizes its consciousnesses as fractal forms, i.e. us, and it squeezes us, and then there we glow into light, into physicality, into being. So the universe basically has unconditional love for us. It doesn't, you know, when you water plants, not just weeds grow or just flowers grow, both grow. And it's the same for universal, unconditional love from the universe or from Source. It doesn't have any bias. It just provides, basically, and that's universal love. So universal love is received from the universe. It's literally creating a heartbeat right this moment. It's creating the cells. It's helping us breathe. It's all these things that are coming to the center, and the center of your awareness, which is you. So you are amazing, eternal, you know, being of light that the universe is or God or Source is projecting and generating constantly as this fountain of light. It's not, you didn't kind of like come out as a fully formed product you know, of the universe, and that was it. Boom, you don't grow anymore, and that's you. No, you started, and the universe is continuing to feed you and continue to grow you and develop you, not just physically but psychologically, to get to know yourself and things like that through experience. So that's really what unconditional love is. It's the universe creating us, providing all the resources for us, bringing us into being through consciousness. And universal love is that feeling that we feel when we appreciate that unconditional love of the universe. So it's a two-way thing. We can also, it's quite difficult, but we're also capable of unconditional love as well. And I do recommend practicing that, but not in the sense that you let abusers abuse you, in the sense that you accept things for the way that they are. And as they are, you are able to move away from them or move closer to them. So unconditional love doesn't mean no conditions whatsoever. It means that you accept things the way that they are, and that you can move on from that or still enjoy that. So that's what unconditional love is from a human. It's acceptance of the way things are. It doesn't mean that you approve of them or condone them, but it means that you are aware that they exist effectively. So that's unconditional love from humans projecting outwards. But we're really capable mostly of universal love, which is feeling the love of all things around us and feeling in that wonderful play of life in that moment and stuff. So I've drawn a little illustration, kind of, you know me. This is where are we? This is universal love. That's like, hey, I love everything. I love you. You're all brilliant. Oh, everything's wonderful. Hey, I love myself. I love life. Everything's amazing. And then you've got unconditional love, which is the universe going, hey, I love you all. I love generating you. I love making each one of you. Oh, you're brilliant. I'm going to be making one of you for the whole of your life. I'm going to be projecting and beaming and generating all those wonderful cells into the center, which is what you call a physical thing. It's actually your mind projecting that body, and you see it as light, and it's a physical thing. Hey, we love you. We're providing all those energies that creates your heartbeat, your pulse, your breath, everything, all the light everywhere. So that's the difference, basically. Universal love is us loving everything, and including ourselves. And unconditional love is what the universe provides, or source, or God, or nature provides us in order to be able to feel universal love. So that was my little piece. And also, I just wanted to introduce you to, if I can, this is a bit of a random one. Next week, I'm going to be talking all about the economics of how we pool our resources and then we start creating amazing stuff together. It's going to be so exciting. And I got carried away and I've made some PLC mini action figures. Well, not quite action figures, just mini PLC figures. And they're going to be used for demonstration purposes. These two are a bit drunk. They've fallen over a bit on the glue. But there's a doctor in there. There's a guy with little dungarees. There's some strange people. There's some women with skirts, which was tricky to do. Yeah. So, oh, and once it's fallen off. There we go. Anyway, these are the PLC people. I will be demonstrating how the economics of PLC works. How basically our resources pull together, and how we and I'll be doing silly little things. So I'll be going, hey, do you understand the matrix? No, I really don't understand the matrix. Well, why don't you come and see what we've got over here? We've got like a hub, and it's got really cool stuff going on. So I'll be doing that sort of silly stuff, but just to kind of explain I was laughing my head off making these. I was thinking, I'm a 56-year-old man making little toys people. What a world, hey? So I'm going to be using those to demonstrate how all your lovely subscription money basically goes towards a pool in the centre. And then when that reaches certain amounts of money, we then start buying things that feeds everyone. So everyone's got that share of that pool in the centre, basically. And it's non-cabal. So, we're all feeding each other and we're all making each other grow and develop. So, but I've still got to get the little tables for the hub at the pizza shop. Those little pizza table things in the boxes. And I've got to make a load of chairs. And then I've got to make a box, kind of cardboard box hub thing to show everyone how it kind of works. But I really want people to get the idea that basically that pool is for each one of you. You all have a share in that. So the longer that we do this, basically, the bigger that pool gets, and each one of you gets the resources from that big pool. So that's why I've done the little minifigures. They're all bald, just like me. I'm non-discriminatory. Even the women are bald. She's wearing a red dress, but she's still bald. Anyway, and then I did the guy with the dungarees. He's cool. I did the guy with the dungarees. Hi, I'm a chicken farmer. He's going to be explaining how thankful he is for being supported by the PLC Community Fund, and we're going to be saying thank you very much for the eggs we get every week from him as well. So stuff like that's coming. Anyway, so that's me I'm done with. I'm going to get around to everyone and say hello, because I like to catch up and see how my lovely people are. Shareva, how are you? How's your week been?
Good week. I can't complain. I actually not experimented, but I was thinking about my dog that had passed, and I was thinking how much I love that dog. And the reason I love that dog is because my daughter loved that dog, and she basically, when she wasn't home, I thought, well, I have to invest myself. I have to give love to this dog because that's what my daughter is craving, even though she can't be here. So I realized, like, I learned to really love an animal because my daughter taught me how to love a dog. And anyway, it was a beautiful thing. I was crying, I was processing, and I sent that message off to her, just thanking her for teaching me that lesson. I don't know. And I don't know what the point of that is, except that it was very healing.
Well, do you know what? In some ways, that's quite poignant, because it's acceptance, isn't it? You accepted that animal and its personality for who it was, even though you kind of didn't choose it. It kind of came into your life, and also in a way, that's a bit like universal love. It's like accepting things for who they are and loving them for who they are, sort of thing. So yeah, that's really nice. We get. That's the funny thing as well, is when you're kind of raising your vibe and stuff, you get all these little flashbacks or these kind of little realizations and stuff like that. It's really nice. Thank you, Shareva. Claire, hi Claire, how are you? You're next on the screen for me.
Yeah, no, hi everyone, nice to see you. Yeah, that was lovely, Matt, really lovely, about unconditional and universal love. That and for me it brought up, I totally resonate with everything you said there. However, I am surrounded, no, there's one person in my life, my sister, who very close to, there's only us left from our family. She has, so for all my wonderful abundance, with family, grandchildren, husbands, everything like that, my sister is the opposite, and she exists in that lack mentality. And now I know that it's the reason that we are two halves of so for my light, she is the dark, and vice versa. She and what you just said made me realize that I have unconditional love for her darkness and her lack. But and she says that she loves me, but she doesn't love herself. And so and I can't, I'm not going to do anything about that. It's not my place to do that. But it's, what you were saying made me realize there in the forefront of my life, it is somebody that doesn't accept the unconditional love of the universe. And will go through her life like that. Unfortunately, will she ever see it?
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. It's the sort of aptitude of the individual, really, and sometimes the experience can shape that person to change the way that they think. And so there's always, you know, as long as they're alive, there's always time for them to maybe see.
Well, this is what I'm hoping, because we had a long conversation today about it. Not about that, but how she feels about the world, and I guess my point is that there is so much suffering in the world, despite our you know, how fortunate we are to know this, the light, and to know unconditional love, and it just makes me a little sad that there is so much more to do, or so many that don't have that.
I agree. I mean, the whole point of PLC is to power up the individual, you know, but not to tell them what to do. Just provide information, and then they'll find their path, you know, because mostly actually the people in suffering, and I was big time, most of the people in suffering don't have information that helps them out of it. And so if one can provide a way of them perceiving the world from a different angle slightly, you know, and also kind of support them, but, you know, don't take any crap, but support them, and, you know, accept them for who they are, then one in oneself is not creating conflict, you know, or thought scripts that are saying they're different from me as well. So
I totally agree. And that's what I've been doing all my life, is trying to give her a different perspective. But and I guess that's I don't know, a measure of my unconditional love towards her, but that she's so resistant, always has been. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. You know, I'll be there. So
it's you know, it's basically what lens we choose to filter to filter life through. You know, there's no rhyme or reason or why or wherefore in the way that she's perceiving the world, or the way that you're perceiving the world. That's just our natural processes that we've, you know. And in some ways, to want someone else to change to the way, I'm not saying you are, is also a form of kind of like conflict as well, because you're not accepting them who they are. So the way I see it is that if we can bring in a piece to each individual person, regardless of what their situation is, then you're empowering that individual to make those better choices and start seeing that life through that more positive lens as well, which you're doing, which is great. You know,
sorry.
No, I was just saying, I really think that you've got amazing strength to the way that you're looking after your, you know, younger family and stuff like that. And I think that you're, what's so nice is that your light and signature is providing that natural, universal love that they can then feel and be educated to, which will help them to stop seeing the life through the lens darkly. Do you see what I mean? Because you're giving them
Absolutely agree. And that's where I've been only in the last few weeks, having found my peace, I'm able to then just be in my peace, and it does have a beautiful ripple effect. I've seen it every day. I see it every day. And there's always, I trust that my sister will see it at some point.
Let's hope so. There's new research actually coming out with things, all sorts of fascinating stuff. They just found out that grandchildren heal grandparents. Actually bring a grandchild
100%.
into the life of a grandparent actually has a coalescive healing effect, and actually heals cells and all sorts of things. So there are some wonderful
my sister met my newest grandson. He's 10 weeks old now. He's a very special child. He was born with achondroplasia, so he's a dwarf. And oh my God, the abundant joy that he is bringing to our family, and I know it's going to help to heal her as well. So.
Thank you, Claire. Brilliant. Nice to hear from you. So we've got Jackie. Hi, Jackie. You're next. Nice to see you.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. Well, talking about grandchildren, Claire, my daughter just gave birth to her first child on Thursday.
Oh.
Yay, congrats.
And the thing is, this is how powerful we are. I'm very clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. And I was busy going, because I live up at York, and she lives down in Andover. So she's down, so we're opposite ends of the country. And I was going about my business, thinking of her all the time, every minute of the day, I was thinking of her. And then when it came to about 11:30, something inside me recognized the time that he'd come.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, she's gone down into hospital, because I had a vision of her, because she had an epidural. So I had a vision of her bending over and having a needle in her back, for thing. So I saw that. That was about 11:30, 20 to 11. And then by 12 o'clock, I thought, she's had it. It's here. I saw this light come into the world, and I knew she had it. It was emanating from me into her and down into the child.
Amazing.
As it came in. So anyway, I was busy doing my things up here. And when I got a chance, I spoke to her husband, and he says, everything's fine, baby, and blah, blah. I says, can you just tell me? I says, did it happen between 11:30 and 12 o'clock? He says, yeah, she went down to the surgery at 11:30, and it was born just before 12 o'clock. And I'm thinking, wow, that is how powerful we are as human beings. So we're giving it, I must be giving it out.
Totally.
So I'm a giver rather than a receiver, if you understand what I mean.
Well, the universe is in some ways it works both ways, because the more you give, the more you receive. In some ways, the universe you receive more from the universe by being loving and projecting that out into the universe. So it makes complete sense that you, especially if you're on a kind of same DNA lineage, then you'll be getting some of that same channel effectively from source. So you'll be getting some of that combined information that she was feeling, or that so you are linked. There is an actual, it's real.
Yeah.
Well,
I once it was born, and she showed me the first photographs, because it hasn't. It'll be a week tomorrow that he's been, and he's altered so much in that week already. So when he was born, I looked at the photograph and it came to me. He's going to be in the diplomatic corps when he grows up. So he's already been destined to be allocated a contract, a soul contract, if you like.
You better get in there and start training him up then with that lovely, holistic, loving light.
Yeah, I hope so. I haven't seen him yet. I'm not likely to see him for a while yet, because time distances apart and whatnot. But he's already been given his contract, soul contract. and that's
Brilliant.
where we're destined to. Yeah.
And also, you know, he's got you in his life, in his life. So, you know, he's obviously onto a winning streak already. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Heather. Hi,
I,
how are you?
I've no idea what I'm doing with my phone tonight, honestly.
It looks like Tetris. You're playing Tetris with the screen. It's kind of like you keep popping up like there. And then...
I've got this new Wi-Fi, and it's doing just weird things. Anyway, I'm fine. I'm
Good.
fine. And I've been up helping my friend on his allotment.
Oh, right.
So that's all good news. And so for all the work I do for him, he's going to share all his vegetables and flowers with
Excellent.
me. So that's really nice.
That's the abundance for you. You know,
I know.
That's
yeah, and he's very kind.
That way, guys, to the hub.
Yeah, he's very kind. So, and I don't go there that often really at the minute because my life's quite busy. But yeah, so it's nice. I mean, I'm really enjoying it, which is nice. I've not planted anything in my own garden yet, but I did get some more alpaca poo last week, which needs to go in. And the thing is, I'm going away quite a lot this summer, so I can't decide whether to plant stuff in my plot or not,
You could
because
put it in pots, and then maybe that might be more hardier stuff until you get back, and then you can kind of like really go to town.
yeah, I don't know if they'll survive without watering.
Oh, I see. I
Yes,
mean, like
without the watering.
naturally, you know, plant them so that they either survive or they don't, kind of thing. That's my form of gardening. It's just chuck it in the ground and see if it comes up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm not very experienced, but I have had a go in the last 2 years, so I'm quite happy. It's just that it's a lot of effort and it's money to plant all that stuff, and then if it doesn't grow, it's such a waste, isn't it?
Yeah.
But and I'm really enjoying helping Colin, and I'm learning, which is good.
Well, actually, you might on your travels, you might come back with more seeds and stuff. So perhaps it's best to wait, you know, until you help Colin with the veg and stuff, and you might have extra seeds and plants for planting up next year if you're not going to be so out and about and things.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I even got asparagus this Saturday from his neighbor. He's got a whole patch of asparagus. It's unbelievable. Never seen anything like it in my life.
It's like amazing when you realize what happens basically in PLC is we'll get to a stage where people will be producing their own things, but in so much abundance that they'll be wanting to give it away. And it's the same for growers and producers. You get a plethora of stuff when it's in season and stuff, and then you usually find that there's no one who wants to take it off your hands, you know, and you can stick it in a box and leave it out the front. You know, when you realize the kind of supermarkets and stuff absolutely get rid of so much food and produce that lack. And when you actually realize that nature just provides it every year, you know, if we look after it. So, you know, ideally, as we move forward, eventually, you know, I want everyone to kind of uncouple from supermarkets because they've got their own community providing all the resources for food and stuff that they need. So that's...
It is very tricky to grow stuff though, because you've got the vermin, you've got these stupid butterflies that come and eat the cabbages, you've got the slugs, you've got the snails, and I used to think, oh, you know, you just plant all this stuff and you water it and it'll grow, but you're up against a lot of elements to actually get the stuff to grow. I am quite surprised.
I am aware, though, that there are people who are amazing with greenery and growing and plants, and they have a whale of a time. So they've got I don't know what it is about them, but they'll just kind of look at something and it'll kind of come into flower or whatever. So, but yes, nature does like to, you know, have a go at the things that we're growing and stuff. But you know, there are thankfully people who are much better than me at growing things that I can support, so I don't have to do all that kind of
Yeah,
pest
yeah,
control.
yeah,
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's tricky. Depends what where you are located as well. You know,
I
if
know,
you're
and I
by
think
the
where,
coast and stuff.
yeah, yeah, where I live is not like it's not a sharing place where I live at the moment. But I did find out today there's a company called Outbox, and they deliver you boxes of vegetables that all the stuff that the farmers have grown but the supermarkets have rejected.
That's right. Yeah.
So if people were in an area where they couldn't get veg, I mean, we've only got Lidl's here, and the fruit and veg, you just wouldn't want to eat it.
It's outofthebox.com, isn't
So
it?
I probably.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh well, not now because I'll have Colin all summer giving me stuff, but maybe in the winter, I might look at that,
Yeah.
and
There's
it's not
also
expensive.
there's also Olio as well, which are people
All
who buy
right.
stuff and people who've got food and stuff that they say, hey, come and pick it up from me as well. So that
Oh,
sometimes it's supermarket stuff that they're not going to eat and they don't want to waste, or sometimes it's
yeah.
stuff that they produce in their garden as well. And then we've got the Food
Ah,
Finders Network as well. So slowly, I think our communities are starting to get, organised.
hmm,
It's just a slow process because it's the individual that wakes up, and then
yeah,
it's like, who else around me is also kind of like of the same mindset, and
yeah,
then that's where we have to, do the work in some ways. But yeah, no, I mean, this is the perfect example of abundance, Heather. You're finding people that you're in your circle that you're working with or that you're helping or supporting have got various different forms of resources, and you're helping them, and you're giving your universal love to them.
hmm,
The universe is then providing it back. So that's a
yeah,
good example of
yeah,
how to be resourceful but not reliant on the slavery system, if you like.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Thank you, Heather.
Okay. Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Thanks, Matt.
So Nicole, hi Nicole, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm really good, thank you. I had I had a really nice weekend. I did. I sang in. Well, I taught two songs, and then I shared a song in ceremony for the opening of the Diaspora Festival in Bristol,
Oh
and
wow.
the theme was water. So I sang this really nice. Well, I was very, it was a bit of a step into the unknown for me because I was very much myself in this crowd of people. I was invited to represent these lands that we live in, and there were people from all over the world. And I kind of stood up and said water, like about my love for and gratitude for water. And then I talked about how I've been crying all day and blessing my tears. And then I taught a song which everybody sang together. And then Saturday it was my birthday,
Hey, happy
so that was
birthday.
fun. Thank you. And then on Sunday, I had a gig in a shopping centre with my friend, and then which was really fun. Um, there were like this. Our songs are quite not heavy, but some of the lyrics are quite particular. So we're singing about um, the sun and moon being replaced with the light of Yeshua's face, and this Jamaican lady walked past, and she was like. Yeah, she was happy. Um, yeah, and then actually we'd been offered a gig on the back of that gig. So a lady who has a flower stall in the market said, "Oh, I'm doing this workshop, and it would be lovely if you guys came and played in the garden whilst we're doing the making." So that's another paid thing. So yeah, there definitely is some kind of alignment with abundance at the moment, and it's it's kind of weird because it's as I'm consciously sort of withdrawing my energy a little bit from public and spending more time doing creative things and actually spending a bit more time writing and doing yoga and stuff. All of these opportunities are opening up.
Exactly that. I
So
mean,
yeah,
this is
it's
literally
really interesting.
how the universe works. I mean, So the double slit experiment, basically, I don't think people have sussed this out yet, even physicists. Double slit experiment, the reason why something changes when you observe it is because the rest of the universe is also you. It's like, how can I explain it? You can bend your finger by just thinking it. So you've made something happen, right? Your synapses have created these nerve endings, as signals come to you, and you've changed that. But just as equally, we can do that with the rest of the field. So the double slit experiment says basically, you, the observer, are the universe, and by you looking at that something, you change it, and it also changes you because it's part of you. It's all one
I'm
thing.
really,
So
yeah, I definitely feel that.
the more you put your love into the field, the more it comes back. The same as if you put hate into the field, it will come back. And because it's the universe or reality renders the outcome of your thoughts and the frequencies that you're emitting, and then it presents that to you as your reality. So the more people come out of that lack mentality and start seeing the abundance all around them, the more it magnifies it, and you're like, hey, there's some more abundance in my life. And it's literally because you've made that shift psychologically to perceive things in a kind of we can just perceive both. We know there's dark and light. We can choose to see both, which I choose, but then encourage
Well,
the light.
interestingly, I feel like the joy is kind of springing more easily as I've been making space for the grief. Like I've been when I've been by myself, I kind of weep a lot, and it's not even like a forced crying. It's just like the tear ducts are open and the tears are just flowing, and I can feel my body. It's the waters, it's like, and I've been singing the blessings on the waters,
It's a
and
detox, that's
actually, really, yeah, but really being aware of this kind of, we are radiators, aren't we?
yeah,
We're so powerful. And I think there's been this grieving process really since COVID for me of how much we've been lied to. And it's like, okay, knowing that now, I'm thankful to be part of this loving community that is building. Even with the little ideas that we write down and those moments where we smile at somebody, which we're changing the
yeah.
fabric of time and space and everything, aren't we?
We
Yeah, it's
literally are. I
exciting.
mean, it sounds like a movie, but that's literally what we're doing. We are generating a different reality through the frequencies that we're broadcasting into the field, and because we're higher frequencies are much more tighter waves than lower frequencies. They dominate lower frequencies, and so people are starting to fall into those higher frequencies, if you like, because we're naturally changing the paradigm, and then that allows others to see it more. So it's like a cascade effect, and it doesn't mean to say that there's always going to be darkness in the world, because you can't have one without the other. It's just a case of taking that or detoxing that darkness from you, from the individual, and clearing that out of your system to allow in that light and that more abundance sort of thing. And yeah, absolutely, totally, this is what it's all about. Going through those stages and processes of acceptance, of understanding, of clearing, of detangling, of cutting those old energy cords. And then what happens is that because the universe sort of abhors a vacuum, it starts going, well, this is what you are now more aligned to, because you're changing your values and priorities. And then it starts giving you that, and you're like, oh, I prefer this kind of reality. This is a bit more fun and a bit more abundant. So yeah, the more you clear out those understandings and detox from all that heavy stuff that's still going on in the world, the more you're becoming more balanced and peaceful in yourself. And then you're no longer at conflict with anyone else, and you're not creating that war inside yourself that's then creating conflict in the world around you. So absolutely, if we can help take the war out of people and replace it with that love and abundance, then we're doing the right job, because then they're no longer creating chaos.
I really sort of recognize as well, since I had that massage, how much of this stuff I feel in my body. And then I notice it in my friends who, you know, have a lower back pain, and I recognize this lack of support and all the shoulders what people are carrying. You know, it's like, and I really recognize the importance of the healing that we can offer each other in this. Yeah, I'm feeling really renewed, and I got loads of lovely birthday cards, and people told me nice things about myself. So yeah, my cup feels very full.
Well, you know, I
Anyway,
mean, as well,
yeah.
what I'm finding is that the more you guys are finding your space, your sacred space, your abundance, the more basically you're helping other people to do the same, you know, and that just builds on collectively, you know. So I think that, you know, what's so lovely about PLC is that I know people are helping me on my journey as much as I'm helping you guys on your journey, and it's a different perspective. It's not, you know, tearing things apart and breaking things. It's actually bringing it together and unifying people and stuff like that. And that has got to be the way forward, because humanity cannot survive the other way. So, you know, that's basically where we're going. Thank
We're
you, Nicole.
humankind, we're not a race.
Exactly, yes. When there's no race and no competition, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, well said. Thank you, Nicole. Pamela, hi. How are you?
Hey, I got back on. The computer
Nice to
just
see you.
crapped out again with the video, and it won't restart. So anyway, here I am. I'm okay. How is everybody? Nice to see everybody. Yeah. So, okay. Speaking about the grandmother stuff, I thought that was interesting because earlier this week I was in a grandmother's meditation and became aware of something with my grandmother that I had not been aware of, which was pretty startling. Something I should have been aware of, but just wasn't at the time. So I've been working on that. It was pretty strong. She went through some horrible things. And I guess last night we finally got some rain. It's been very dry here. So I live in the very high altitude and in the desert, but there's mountains here as well. And we've been in a drought. So we got some rain. And so a violent thunderstorm came through and hail, all that kind of stuff, which was great. We needed the rain. But I woke up at 3 in the morning and couldn't get back to sleep. And then dozed off just in the pre-dawn and had a nightmare, which is something that never happens to me. So it was very strange. I was actually, I think it was some kind of astral attack because of the strangeness of it. And actually yelled for help. I was in the dream. So it was weird. So I'm a little out of sorts today, tired and having computer issues. Had them yesterday too, and plumbing issues, and you know, just stuff that you got to deal with.
General kind of life things going on, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's working out, but it's just stuff.
It's interesting actually that you when you were talking about how you had a drought and that you've got a dramatic thunderstorm with lightning, how that's brought abundance, i.e., as in water and rain. But at the same time, it's brought its own issues as well. I mean, that's typical of life as well. You know, that we have an abundance of some things, but also it comes with other things as well. So, but you know, I mean, how lovely it must be to see the desert bloom, you know, when you do get rain, because you don't really see that kind of effect in a town or a city, you know. So it must be, you must get some lovely visions and sights there as well.
Yeah, there are all kinds of little teeny flowers and things like that. I mean, this is high Sierra desert, so we do get rain normally in the summertime. We get what are called monsoons, which are kind of an oxymoron, but nonetheless, it used to be like that. It hasn't been like that. But there was something riding out ahead of this storm and changed up the energy very suddenly. Because the way it came in too, it just didn't roll in. It was just suddenly there and bam, huge lightning and thunder and hail, which isn't atypical for this time of year. But yeah,
we do know as well that progressive craft come in and create a storm system around them if they do want to, say, pop down on the surface and harass people. So, you know, potentially
Something happened.
you could have
Yeah.
had an astral attack there. But
Yeah.
always remember, you can bring in your higher self. You say, hey, I'm fed up with this. I'm bringing in my higher self, no more. And then it generally comes to a stop. Because
Yeah,
you're
no, they generally don't bother me,
good.
and I'm usually pretty strong, but so it was unusual. It's just highly unusual for something like that to happen. So I don't know what was going on.
It's probably
But
because you're a great big beacon of light out there in the middle of the desert, and Star Family and regressive ETs and all sorts can see you. They're like, wow, look at that. That lady, she's beaming away. She's really high vibe. We can't have that. So it could be something like that. Could be a sign of your success, if you like, at doing the inner work, if you like. So, yeah. But obviously, it's all conjecture from me. So,
yeah, I don't know either because it's just so odd, but it's kind of stuck with me. So it left me out of sorts and tired today. And I think there's more coming, but these feel more like regular storms. It's not this sudden dramatic change. But I thought it was interesting, the little video you posted where, you know, the government's trying to hide the fact that we're calling in ETs. I got a big laugh out of that. I'm like, duh. You know, it's like it happens well, not every day, but very often. And I know it's because I'm sitting out there calling them, and they come in and they say hello, you know,
absolutely.
they drop in and say hello.
Psionics, I mean, we're all capable of that if we tune in, you know, to within in a way, and get into that meditative state and self-loving. We're all capable of pulling them in, and inviting them and asking them to say hello and stuff. So, and that's what I like about Star Teachings, because it's like, it's not this sort of thing you have to attain. Everyone's got that kit inside them, and it's just a case of helping them work it through to their awareness of how it works, and then bringing them in. And so, yeah, it's absolutely hilarious when you get all the American deep state, really serious, kind of like, yes, we call in the dog whistle, we got the psionics team, and we can call in. And it's like, well, you know, I mean, they're just people out there. There's some good ones and some bad ones. It's no big deal, you know. I mean, they know that we are, you know, multi-dimensional beings. They know that they all operate in consciousness technology, so that, you know, I mean, they know our thoughts. They can see what we're thinking. They can, you know, they can even shape the way that we're thinking even as well, but they choose not to do that. The regressives do that. But so
They try anyway.
yeah, well, they try, and with people like
It's
us,
very easy to become aware of it when you start like, where is this coming from? You know, if you're able to be attentive to and aware of your own thinking, and starts like, yeah, okay, this is not me. And so I just simply make statements that anything that is not of my energy, emotions, or whatever I normally say. I'm sorry, that's how tired I am today. I can't think straight. So I just say it, and you can feel it lift if it's not me.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, you know, that's our conscious intention on the field as well. You know, Matsumoto did experiments and stuff like that. And I was trying to think, well, what's the best way to show how our conscious intention affects others and affects the field? And then as I was thinking that, my mum yawned, and then I yawned, and I was like, oh, that's it, yawning. You know, if someone yawns on a train, there'll be a cluster of people around them yawning afterwards. You know, that's a good way of explaining how our conscious intention affects all other, you know, people around us and the field around us. So yeah, absolutely. And it applies even to Star Family. If you don't want their attention, you can tell them to bog off, you know, as well, because there's no more divine tech than in us, you know. So when we kind of actually come into the realization of that, boy, we're going to really start flying. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate you all being on the call today. And I really love talking about unconditional love and universal love, because it's one of those things that is not really talked about as a thing. And it's not really, you know, you have to reach a certain state of mind to understand universal love for all things. You've got to kind of love yourself in that moment as well. So helping people to understand what universal love is and unconditional love is really important, because we're all from love, and we're all, you know, here to give love and share love and receive love. And so if people can understand the strengths in that, the force, the power, the energy, the change that can bring, and the things that it can create and generate, wow, you know, we are really going to get going. So
I don't think we heard from Jane.
Oh, is there someone else on there? Thank you, Sharela.
Jane?
Jane. Oh, yes. I thought you said Kane.
No.
Hi, Jane. Did I not
Hello?
come to you in the beginning? No, I didn't. No, that's terrible of me. The hostess with the mostess. Yeah, we'll save the best till last. That's what I was doing, Sharela. Yeah, that's what I was
9:05. I'll keep it brief.
I get so excited. Sorry. I'll
It's all
shut up
right.
now.
No
The
worries.
floor is yours.
Lots of stuff planted out in the garden, all growing away, and more to go in. Heather, you have to protect stuff if she's still on the call. You just have to protect it. And to keep it moist in the ground, you just mulch it well. Get some wood chip, something like that, and just go all
Oh,
round.
okay.
That keeps the
Okay.
moisture in the ground, either wood chip or some manure or compost, but you know, good layer on the top, and that keeps the
Okay.
undersoil much moister. Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
That's okay. I went to a new group on Monday. It's called a money circle,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
about abundance, and you know, just kind of exploring. There's a brand new group, so we're exploring what to do. But I mean, at some point, PLC will come into it, because it's how we're going to support ourselves. You know, they all want to learn how to deal with money and help open their hearts to not lack, to abundance.
I'm really looking
So,
forward to people learning how to do that, because
yeah.
I was thinking about this. If you can get, say, in your village or your town, you can get, say, 10 people together, and they've all got like skills, or they're all providing a service, then, you know, you're all feeding each other, and that money it doesn't get leaked out of the system. And then the more you then have more and more options as the money grows, sort of thing. So definitely looking.
That's what I thought. You know, we can grow PLC, even though we've got our little hut, you know, our little group. Sue's part of the money circle as well. So yeah, you know, we can kind of just bring it in as don't even need to mention, it's just this idea, you know, of as you say, giving each other service, you know, sharing services, sharing vegetables, so yeah, I think it's a little nugget.
Oh, keep us posted on that. That'll be,
Yeah,
because I am seeing kind of slight changes in the landscape of the way people are sort of thinking about holistic life and the different initiatives, because obviously we know that the Kabbalah is still operating, and we know lots more in the 5 years that we've kind of had to deal with it. So it's a rolling kind of evolving situation, and so it's nice to see how other people are anticipating or evolving and changing and adapting as well. So
yeah.
brilliant. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate you, and I appreciate
That's all right.
everyone here on the call. You know, it's really lovely to know that there are other people out there with the same mindset and who are progressive and bringing their beautiful abundance and creativity out of them and sharing them with everyone else. So just keep being your brilliant, beautiful selves, and we've got this. You know, I mean, perfect example how we got this is, look at the British Empire 300 years ago, and then look at it today. Yeah, there's a clue how things are going. They're going well for us, even though it might not seem it. They're going well for us. Okay, guys, lots of love.
Right.
Catch up with you
Bye.
next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.